Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce.
All right, it is in fact time for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. You can call me right now. Here's the number. It hasn't changed. It's 1-800-252-1025. Or you can email the life coach at lifecoach@KZOK.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. I believe we'll start with an email this morning.
Yeah, and remember when you call the Life Coach at 800-252-1025, change your name if you need to. A lot of people say they're embarrassed to call, and, you don't need to be. You don't have to change your voice. Just change your name, and Danny will help you.
Anytime I've ever made a prank call to anybody I know, I go, hey, this is Steve. And they go, Bonaduce, we always know it's you.
Most people's voices are not quite as distinct.
No.
We're actually going to put you on with a caller named Craig in Enumclaw.
Hey, Craig, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Danny?
It's going very well, thank you.
I'm married to a woman I met when I was 12. We have a long, complicated history. In 2007, she had a heart attack and had a quadruple bypass, and we have not had relations since.
All right. Is that your question, or is that just your statement?
No, my question is, she tells me she can't, and I don't believe her. I think she won't.
I don't believe her. If you're looking for a partner on this, Craig, I don't believe her.
I think I have to get divorced so I can get laid.
Well, first of all, and that's reasonable, but by the way, and I'll just be real blunt with you, you don't have to get divorced to get laid. You just have to get laid to get laid. Okay, so that's if and it all depends on what level of being a bad guy you're willing to go. Because now sometimes on Life Coach it comes out like I have to expose part of myself. I don't really want that many people to know. If let's say that your wife is in such a medical condition that she can't have sex with, that she's telling the truth. If you want to stay with her and you guys want to stay together, I would think that you are being foolish if you stayed faithful to her. I think the only chance you have of survival and to not go crazy is to get sex and romance somewhere else that somebody's healthy enough to give it to you while staying with your wife. But I see no reason to not get sex somewhere, my man. I think it'd be unfair to ask. So here's what I'm asking. I'm wondering. Your wife is saying she's not well enough to have sex, although it's been 7 years. By the way, I'm claiming shenanigans on this, although I don't really know the situation, but I don't have to. I'm just sitting there being the life coach. I call shenanigans. I think, why don't you take her to a doctor? There's those commercials on TV that they're usually for pills to help a guy out or something like that, and then they say at the end, ask your doctor if you're healthy enough to have sex. That's a question you can ask your doctor. You can ask the person that did her heart work, hey man, is Becky okay? Can we have sex? Because I'd really like to, and I'll bet $5. He says, yeah, of course she can. This is craziness. So give me your specific question, because I think it's an area, well, if it's what should you do you want to stay married to her no matter what?
Okay, I have been getting testosterone shots through the men's clinic. She's gone there with me and hasn't even mentioned. I mean, we have an elephant in the room that nobody will talk about.
You're pretty proud of yourself, aren't you, there, Craig? I take my testosterone shot. Who knows? Woo! Get back. There's an elephant in the room. Listen, man. I say find out if she's physically okay to have sex. I can't believe. You wanted to take. I'm assuming testosterone for other reasons besides libido, or is it just libido?
Oh, no, I had no problem with libido. I was worried that use it or lose it, and I ain't used it in a long time.
You know what? It's not a real concern, but having said that, I understand it completely. Yeah, you need to take her to a doctor, especially if you're taking testosterone shots from Innovative Men. You must be. I'd have been beside myself without the testosterone, just thinking this is not fair. You throw in a little test shots. This must be crazy for you. Find out if she's okay, and then I'm just going to tell you what I think you want to hear, man, because I think you're right. Take her to the doctor. Find out she's okay to have sex, then she still won't have sex, then you're going to divorce her with a clear conscience. That's my money on what I think is going to happen. If I'm right, if she's okay to have sex and doesn't, are you going to divorce her?
I've divorced her once and remarried her already.
Do your stories ever end? First, I got to back up because there's an elephant in the room. I'm marrying a 12-year-old or whatever you said. Now you've married this woman twice. All right, Craig, here's the thing. I think she's holding out on you. I think she's playing a victim for no reason because, people forget this. Girls like sex, too. There's something going wrong with your wife. Take her to the doctor, and then after that, if you can't get your romantic lines crossed, then I think you need to move on from this girl. You've held in there since you were kids, but it turns out this wasn't the one. And about she's too sick to divorce divorce. Nobody is too sick to divorce, guys or girls. If your life is starting to suck because of the life of somebody else, you're allowed to move on and still be a good guy, Craig.
You still have time to call the Life Coach at 800-252-1025. Anything you're going through, if it's work, relationships, or addiction, Danny Bonaduce is here to help. Just make the call. Amber in Lake Stevens, you're on with the Life Coach.
What's up, Amber? Oh, I think we lost Amber.
Well, Amber, give a call
her question
back.
was, I'm really good at helping others, but I can't help myself. Well, that's your problem right there. You don't stick to anything. Call up the Life Coach and you hang up on yourself. What a maniac.
Yeah, call back, Amber, because Danny Bonaduce can help you. As I said, it doesn't really matter what it is you're going through because Danny has basically been through it all. And remember, change your name if you need to. And the email is always available to you, lifecoach@kzok.com. The next person we're going to put you on with is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
From Issaquah.
Steve in Issaquah. What's up?
Just give him a second. There we go.
There we go.
Here's Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Steve, you're on with the Life Coach, sweetie. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
What's
right,
up, man?
on.
Hey. Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Do you have a question for me?
Oh, hey, Danny. How you doing, man? Been going through a lot of things lately. You know, I've been cleaning stuff for a while. And
What's a while?
I'm on the verge of a relapse since December.
All right, so that's in your world, really in anybody's world, that sounds like a great deal of time, but it's not. You're a newbie, man. You're a brand new guy on the face of the earth. I don't know if how many people know this, but in AA world, and that means NA and all the other anything that ends in an A. You say, somebody will say to you, and you'll say, when's your birthday? And you know it. That's what they're talking about. And they'll often say, how old are you? And people get cakes. It's a thing. Like right now, I could get a cake. I wouldn't because it's not my birthday, but let's say it was January 10th, and I went to a meeting, and they'd say, any birthdays? I'd say, yeah, 4 years today. They'd come out with a cake. So it's a real thing. So December's and not a lot of time except for the guy doing it. So God bless you, Steve. So what's happening?
Well, like I said, I've been going through a lot of issues with my wife and stuff, and things are just keep getting worse, and I'm really getting on the verge of a relapse. And I just needed some help, and I thought you might be the guy to call.
I am the guy to call, and God bless you. Thanks for thinking of me. Here's what you're doing it right now. You just need to do more of it. You need to talk about it in a room full of people that have a varying amount of sobriety from less time than you to 25 years. And here's the thing. It's amazing. They'll do it every time, no matter what is happening in their world. You got a guy, his business is collapsing. You got a wife, her marriage is collapsing. You got somebody else, they're getting fired from their jobs. And you say, hi, my name is Steve, and I believe I am on the verge of a relapse. That room will stop for you. That's what they do. That's what AA is. And you'll get to go talk to guys with a range of sobriety. And the first thing they'll do is sit there and listen to you without interruption. They won't ask any questions at first. They'll just let you go on till they know what you're doing. It's like a life coach on steroids, except I don't think you're allowed to take steroids. There might be rules. I don't really know everything. But that's the thing I think you should do is find a meeting in your neighborhood. Do you go to meetings, Steve?
I do occasionally.
All right, yeah. Here's what I would like you to do. So what do I do to stop this? This is thing number one, because normally I would say go to your doctor and get antibiotics. But here's the problem with a guy like my friend Steve, is you're so on the verge, you take this pill, that's what I take, that makes you so physically sick if you try and drink. But Steve's on the verge of a relapse, and I believe him. And I believe if I told him just go take this thing that would make him sick, he'd drink anyway, and I'd be doing him a disservice. So let's get off of this relapse thing right now, and then we'll talk about the proper medications. But my answer to your question is to go to a meeting. Do you know how to find meetings in your neighborhood?
No, not really. And antibiotics wouldn't work for me. My problem is an NA problem, not an AA problem.
Antibiotics wouldn't work for you. What drugs?
Methamphetamines.
Ooh, that's a tough one. But by the way, the physical addiction to that is minimal. It's the mental addiction to that. So I want you to get to an NA meeting, and since obviously you said it, you know where they are, and tell them that. And you know what? Open with some drama. You say, hi, my name's Steve, and I could really use some help from you guys. I'm on the verge of relapse, and they will stop everything they're doing to help you. And you know what? You'll just think, I can't relapse today. These guys were just so nice to me. I can't do this to them today. So that's what I'd like you to do, is go to a meeting today and say, my name's Steve, and I'm on the verge of a relapse. Can you guys help? And they will.
SeattleNA.com, by the way. So
there you go, SeattleNA.com.
Find the internet and find yourself a meeting. Like Danny said, get that done ASAP. Good luck to you, Steve.
Good luck, Steve.
We've got time for an email on Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. Becky in Graham. I've been married 3 years to a man who doesn't want to live with me and never has. He says he loves me, but I question that. He constantly is asking me for money for food, gas, his cell phone bill. I don't give it to him. When I explain I can't and won't help him because he's a grown man and needs to take care of himself, his response is, I'm your husband. You have to help me. Danny, do you think he loves me? Divorce is something I'm considering. He's against it because of religious reasons.
You know what? I'm sitting here and going, I don't know what to say. Right up to the last minute, I'm going, I don't know. This is so weird. And then you say this guy that takes, and by the way, there's nothing sexist about what I'm going to say, who takes money off a woman. Turn it around and you're taking money off a man. I don't care who's taking money from who. Somebody's taking money without a reciprocation on their duties. You know what? There are duties to being a husband. You can look them up. And one of them is not grocery money from your wife for a different address. I don't believe this man loves you. I don't think he's, and to be honest with you, I'd be nervous about what this guy is up to, what kind of shenanigans this guy is up to. You know, could just think how horrible this would be. And I'm not suggesting that this is the case. I'm just saying, might want to think about it. What if he's borrowing money from you to pay for going to dinner with another woman? I'm not saying he's doing it, but I don't like this guy at all. So if you want to get a divorce, if those are the actual real cases, he doesn't want to live with you and he takes your money and he takes your things, I think you can go with your head high that that you can look for a better man. And by the way, they won't be hard to find. It'd be hard to find a worse guy. He's terrible. So move on with your life.
So the answer is definitely get a divorce.
If that's an option for you, and it sounds like it is. I mean, the other options are try and change the living situation and all that stuff. But if this is the way it's going to be permanently and there's no fixing it, because I'd like to say try everything before divorce. But if she has, yes, go get a divorce and live your life. It's fine. God doesn't get all mad at you for that. I asked him. He's cool with it.
We've got time for another email on Danny Bonaduce Life Coach. Alfonso in Georgetown has written, I reconnected with my dad a few months ago, years after he left my mother and us kids when I was a teenager. We've worked out our past issues, but I'm still hesitant to let him develop much of a relationship with my son, which is obviously his grandson. I don't want my son to experience the pain I went through in case my dad decides to disappear again. Is this fair, or should I forgive him and forget the past?
See, you're saying two totally different things, and I understand it. One, you're saying, is this the best thing for my kid? And the other is, should I forgive him? Which has nothing to do with being the best thing for your kid. It only has to do with forgiving him. So the answer is, yeah, you should forgive him. Whatever he did, whatever was difficult, whatever reason, he had to abandon a little baby. That's got to be really hard. So here's what I say. Let's play real. Punish him a little bit. Say terrible things. Where were you, Dad? How could you? Go ahead and do that stuff to him. But he didn't do it to your boy. Your boy deserves a grandfather. And, the strains of having a grandchild are not the same of having a child. He's not going to abandon his own grandchild. It sounds weird, but he will abandon his child. But he won't abandon his grandchild. You're taking care of his grandchild for him. He doesn't have those responsibilities. He doesn't have to meet a paycheck every week to take care of this kid. You take care of that kid. So this is all fun and games for your dad to take care of his grandkids. So I say, yes, forgive your dad, move on with your life, and let him see the kid. Hey, that is all the time we have, and thank you very much. Wonderful phone calls and emails today. I really do appreciate it. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.